the magic bullet or a big hoax? Intermittent fasting, today on the Do Hard Things Today podcast. Halmar's intermittent fasting, man. I think about intermittent fasting, we'll go back to your old Pop-Tarts. And is that eat one Pop-Tart, don't eat a Pop-Tart the next hour, eat one the next hour? Is that what we're talking about here?
Probably not, but that doesn't sound too bad.
That doesn't sound too bad, right? Yeah, we have had quite a few requests to talk about intermittent fasting. It's kind of a new craze out there. I'll say a craze. It's kind of a new trend or fad for a lot of people. They use it for a lot of different reasons. So we're going to, as always, we don't give any medical advice on the Do Hard Things Today podcast. What we do is give you opinions. We talk about these things, and then we let you go decide if this is something that would be good for you or not. So as always, if you got any kind of health issues, anything like that, always consult your physician before you start any kind of program. So there, got that out of the way, right?
Yep, disclaimer.
I should have talked really, really fast like that, like the car commercials do.
Oh, yeah.
Intermittent fasting, what is it? Just like it says, it's intermittent fasting. And what is fasting? What do you do in the morning? What's the first meal you eat?
Breakfast.
Break that down for me. That's a compound word.
Oh.
Let's go back to third grade. Break that word down for me.
Break.
Fast. Break your fast. So, intermittent fasting. I guess we all intermittent fast every day, whether you know you have been or not. Intermittent fasting. Breakfast. The reason it's called breakfast is because you're breaking your fast. All a fast is a period of time you're not eating. So technically, if you eat your last meal, and for many of you, you're probably going to be surprised how close you are to intermittent fasting anyway. So let's say you eat your last meal at 7 o'clock at night, and then you sleep and you don't eat breakfast until 8 o'clock in the morning, which that wouldn't be too uncommon.
Right.
Now, there's no Pop-Tarts at 9 or 10 o'clock, but if you stop eating at 7, you stop eating at 7 at night,
no eating,
and you start eating again at 8 o'clock in the morning, that's what, 13
hours.
Yeah, so 13 hours. And then you're eating all your food in 11 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So you're really not that far away from what a lot of people would call fasting. Intermittent fasting is picking out specific times, and we're going to talk about different ones and common fasting methods that are out there. There's a couple of different ways people do this. For some, they pick out a day or two during the week where they don't eat anything. Now, the other 5 days, other 6 days, they just eat whatever. But then for either 1 or 2 days a week, they won't eat anything. They'll drink water, drink tea, drink coffee, those kind of things, right, but won't eat anything. For others, it is and I would say probably the most common, and this is the one that I've actually talked to a few people who have been doing this and have had some success, is a form of, it's daily, where and for most of them, it's a 8-16. So 8 hours a day they will eat, and then 16 hours a day they'll fast. Okay. And so they'll pick out a window of time to do that. Some of the more hardcore, believe that you even need to be break that window down even smaller to like eat for 6 hours, be off for 18 hours. Some of them eat for 4 hours, don't eat for 20 hours. Some, and these are called the 1 meal people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually Facebook groups out there and stuff you can find that are like 1 meal people, where they eat and they'll call it a feast. They will eat a huge meal once a day, and that's the only time they eat.
Okay.
They don't eat anything else all day. Now, I've never tried that, so I can't tell you that I couldn't do it, but I don't think I would like that.
No.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be something.
I've had days where I had to do that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fun days.
Well, we're gonna what we're going to try to do for you is just break down why would you do that? Because honestly, when you think about it, that it doesn't sound like that fun of a thing to do, to restrict that. But there is some research out there, and there are some reasons, and some of the people that I talk to that have been doing this that have had some really good results from it. And it's actually something I'm considering maybe trying for like a 21-day period or so, just to see how because there's some things that it does. Some of the results that you get are some that I'm very interested in and seeing if it works for me, because some of them are some things that I struggle with. So why intermittent fasting? All right, why do you think the number one reason for intermittent fasting? And when people ask us about intermittent fasting, what do you think the number one reason that they're doing this is?
I would say they eat where they can plan to burn the calories off.
Yeah, well, somewhat.
So,
you're overthinking it.
okay.
It's the same reason people ask the question about, what do you think about keto? What do you think about paleo? What do you think? Because they want to lose weight. They're looking for something just to lose weight. And intermittent fasting, if you're disciplined with it, I can almost guarantee you're going to lose weight. And why do you think that is? Same reason you lose weight on low carb diets. Same reason you lose on low fat diets on it, because you're reducing calories.
Reducing your calories.
Yeah, you're going to reduce. If you're only eating in an 8 hour period, there's only so much food you can eat in 8 hours.
They're playing the numbers game with the calories.
Yep. You're playing the numbers. So it is a very powerful weight loss tool. It's something that you can use and you can utilize if you're disciplined with it, where it can be something that helps you to lose weight. Now, I'm not going to get into what does this do to you hormonally and other things. We're not really equipped to talk about that. There's some research out there that suggests that it does have a positive effect on your hormones and other things, but we're not gonna speak to that too much. But weight loss is the number one reason that people look at doing this. And so I think it can be a tool for you. Now, generally, with intermittent fasting, there's not a lot of parameters put on. Okay, this has to be a low carb, has to be a low fat, generally it is what you would call a healthy. You're staying away from processed foods and those kind of things, but it's not a low carb approach. It's not a low fat approach. The idea is you're just getting all of those calories in during that time. The key is it's not even really about the 8 hours that you're eating. The key to intermittent fasting is that 16 hours that you're not eating. Right. And what happens in your body. And so a word that you will hear, and I don't even know if I'm saying this right. It's autophagy. Okay. Autophagy is what is what I believe the correct pronunciation of that. Mm-hmm. And what that is, during this 16 hours that you're not eating, supposedly what happens is the body starts repairing itself. It starts taking these damaged cells, starts regenerating them into newer, healthier cells. When you look at autophagy, what that actually means, it means the word means self-eating. And so what's happening is your cells are regenerating themselves. And there is a lot of science on this. And this is something that where your cells, your tissue, it rejuvenates. You'll hear a lot of people. Dave Asprey, somebody we've talked about on the podcast before, the Bulletproof Diet. He's actually the Bulletproof Lifestyle. He's a big believer in fasting, and fasting for what he calls longevity, for anti-aging benefits, those kind of things. This is something that people really, really believe in with the fasting. Now, the important piece of this puzzle for this 16 hours is you can't take in any carbohydrates, any proteins, anything during this. Some
Mm-hmm.
people make the mistake when they're fasting. What have we always been told about protein?
It rebuilds.
Oh, it rebuilds, and it's
Yeah.
good. It's good for you, especially
Mhm.
if you're training, if you're trying to build muscle, trying not to lose muscle, those kind of things. What people will do is they will fast. They will say they're in a 8-hour 8-16 window where they're eating for 8 hours, fasting for 16. But during that 16 hours, like they'll wake up in the if their eating window is from 10 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening. So that's when they're eating all their food. The mistake they'll make is they'll wake up at 5 a.m. They're going to do a workout. Well, they'll have a protein shake. Won't have any carbs in it. Won't have any sugar, but they'll have
Right.
protein. That actually stops and hinders this process of autophagy.
Mm-hmm.
It stops it. And now, again, we're not scientists. We're not doctors. I don't want to dive too deep into the woods on this, but in my opinion, this is the best reason to explore intermittent fasting would be what your body does to itself when you're not eating. When you look back at, when you go back years and years ago to our long ago ancestors, what did they do? How did they eat? Think about the cavemen and further. How did they eat?
Oh, protein.
Well, they had
Right.
protein
They
and berries.
killed what they eat. Yeah,
hunters,
berries.
gatherers, those kind of things. But they would eat. They'd eat during a period of time, and then they'd go pretty good periods of time without eating.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have think about our modern day. What do? You wake up and it's time to what?
It's time to eat.
Time to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, then by about 11 o'clock, what is it again?
Snack.
Yeah, it's time to eat again. And then you're riding down the road and it's like, oh man,
It's lunchtime.
You may not even be hungry, but you look at your watch and it's 12:30. It's like, oh wow, I haven't even eaten.
Gotta
yet.
eat.
I better
Yeah.
eat. Then you get on up 3 o'clock and then 6 o'clock. Next thing you know, you've eaten 5 or 6 times, which a lot of people actually say you should eat 5 or 6 times a day.
Mhm.
So this goes completely against that.
Yeah.
What that is, and we're not advocating for, or we're not telling you not to do this. We're just kind of giving you the overview of it. So many of you have asked about it. So this intermittent fasting, this cellular repair process intermittent fasting is not really one of those things that you can do halfway. People will tell you they're doing keto. Well, they're not really doing keto. They're doing generally low carb, but they're not in ketosis. They're just kind of pity-patting around with it. They're losing a little weight, but they're not truly in a in ketosis. Okay? With intermittent fasting, this isn't something you can pity-pat around with. You got to get any benefit out of it and the true benefits that are claimed by intermittent fasting, you got to be committed to that window. If you're choosing to do the daily, you got to be committed to that window where you're going to eat all your food in that 8-hour window, and then you're not going to take in any other calories during that time. There are some that would say, like MCT oil, bulletproof coffee,
Mm-hmm.
pure fat, not taking in any protein with it, but putting a little bit of butter and MCT oil or coconut oil in your coffee, that actually does not break your fast. Dave Asprey, Bulletproof Diet, he actually argues that does not break your fast. And so if you enjoy coffee, that's absolutely allowed during your fast. Tea would be allowed, unsweet obviously, and then water. So that's kind of what you're looking at with what can you take in during this. One of the other big claims and things that actually some of the people that I've talked to and interviewed about this is inflammation, that it reduces inflammation. And doctors will tell you that inflammation is kind of the root cause of everything. It's the root cause of everything. Some people would even make claims that intermittent fasting has helped with things like even cancer. And I'm not making these claims. I'm saying if you research it, you will see there are all kind of claims.
Yeah, just this one little article I Googled while we were speaking, mention that.
Yeah. I mean, there's
benefits.
Yeah, there are a lot of claims out there of true health transformations, and we're not just talking about weight loss. We're talking about disease fighting, those kind of things.
Cancer, neurodegenerative disorders, infections, inflammatory diseases, aging.
Yeah,
insulin resistance.
Yeah, and one of the biggest ones that I've really, from the people I've talked to that do this, they talk about the inflammation as it pertains to their joints and their knees, the aches and pains in their hips and those kind of things, that this has really helped that.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes right along with that cell repair, the autophagy, the cell repair, those cells regenerating themselves. Again, we're not making that claim, but this is what I believed out there. I'll tell you this, in 21 days, I'll be able to tell you, because I think I'm going to do this. The 16-8 for 21 days.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
All right.
If you'd be willing to do it,
mm-hmm.
and then we'll do a follow-up podcast.
Yep.
And track
all right
where you're at.
21 days. Yep.
Okay.
I started today.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually started today.
Okay.
When I was
all right, well, which method did you
I'm doing decide? The 16-8.
16-8. Okay.
Yeah, 16-8.
Okay.
So I did that today.
Okay.
I was actually to 5:30 today. And so yeah.
So we're going to track weight.
Yeah, we'll do it all. Do the
okay.
I'll do some measurements when I get home, and then weight, that and just, I guess, the overall feeling. How do I feel, my joints and other things.
Maybe do a little journal.
Yep. Do a little. I'll do a journal on it, and that's a good idea. We'll do that for 21 days, and I'm gonna do 16-8, for 21 days and see what happens. Because it's like I was saying, and the reason I am is because I was researching this morning. I was doing some reading, and I was actually listening to some other things about it. Specifically Dave Asprey, who now Dave Asprey, he wrote the Bulletproof Diet, Bulletproof Life, Bulletproof Perform, all those things. He is if you want to get into weeds, go listen to some of his stuff. I mean, he's one of these guys that believe he is trying to optimize his life and his performance. He gets into some pretty crazy stuff, but this is one that I want to try, especially when you start talking about the inflammation, the anti-aging benefits, the sleep. Everybody that I've talked to about this and everything that I've read said that their sleep quality goes through the roof.
Nope.
And a lot of things happen. Supposedly your growth hormone really increases whenever you're doing this, that you're basically your body is able to do what it's supposed to do, and it's not spending all of its energy digesting food, dealing with all the toxins and other things that are in our food. Your body's able to do what it's supposed to do. So that's what I really want to see. And I'm, like I said, I said on our previous podcast, the coronavirus, and we're dealing with all that kind of stuff has been going on. We're all dealing with. It kind of just I didn't get sick, but just all of the stuff going on, the stress with it, just kind of knocked me off the wagon for 10 days or so. And so I picked up. I hadn't even weighed, but I bet I picked up 10 pounds since I was really training when all the races and everything started getting canceled. So, I just want to see what this is going to do. And from the people I've talked to, it sounds very legitimate, and the science really looks legitimate. It makes sense. It makes sense of why it would work. So that's what I'm gonna do. And the next question is the one that I really want to see an answer to as well. Can you do this and train? And when I say train, I don't mean like you're going to exercise for 30 minutes a day. No, I mean really train like we do, where you're
8 to 10 hours a week.
Yep. Yeah. Where you're doing 8-10 hours a week and getting after it. I want to see if the things you read about it say that it actually makes you perform better. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That you're eating 8 hours a day, and even what many of them will recommend you do is that you train when you're in that fasted state, and you're training your body to use fat
during the 16
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, you're training your body to use fat as fuel, and that it's a I was listening to a guy this morning, and he said it's almost like magic. And that's why I said that at the beginning of, is it magic or is it, a big hoax?
Yeah.
He said it's almost like magic because you're waking up in the morning, you've been on a fast, and you jump on your bike or you go for a run or you grab some weights, and you're energized, and it doesn't make sense that you are. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's
Let's see,
a legitimate thing or not,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna be a test tube for it for 21 days. And even like right now, I mean, it's it's 8:00, so it's 2.5 hours since I ate, and probably around 9 or so, 9:30, I'll be getting a little bit of hunger, but I'm gonna ignore that. I've read that it takes about 3 days until you kind of get used to, your body gets used to the window. So that's what I'm gonna do. So if any of you guys want to listen to this, and I know I'll probably be 5 or 6 days into this by the time you hear it. But if you want to join that, man, feel free to jump in and really make it really simple. If you want to try it, do the 16-8, where you eat for 8 hours a day in that window. So if you start at 10 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock at night, that is your last bite, and then you spend the next 16 hours not eating. You can have water, you can have coffee. If you want to put butter or coconut oil in your coffee, the bulletproof coffee, that's what that is. If you want to do that, that is acceptable, but no creamers, no artificial sweeteners during your fast. That's an important thing because it supposedly that does something to your insulin.
Some sugars in the creamer, maybe.
Yeah, well, none. You can't. During your fast, no artificial sweeteners, no anything. Now during your 8 hours, you can really have what you want, but in that 16, you're the real supposed quote unquote magic happens during the fast, not during the time you're eating. Now, obviously, you don't want to go eat Pop-Tarts for 8 hours a day. But
just sensible
eating. And then the real key to it is going to be that 16 hours of not eating, and then we'll see. But like I said, we'll see if I come in 21 days from now. If I walk in and I look like a 18-year-old Brad Pitt, you'll know something happened.
It works.
You'll know
That's
it
right.
works, man. And I got a feeling I'm not going to look like that because when I was 18 years old, I didn't look like that. But I'm really looking for a couple of things. I do want to drop a few pounds. I do want to sleep better, and I am looking for these, the autophagy of the cellular repair, the feeling bet, which is, kind of getting rid of some of the inflammation and those kind of things. I'm interested to see those benefits, and then really what happens with my training when I'm an hour into a hard trainer ride or run, or what happens? Do I have the energy and the stamina to keep going and be strong, right, or does it affect that? So we'll see. I'm gonna keep a journal on it and take my measurements and stuff and see where we go with that. But
awesome.
Intermittent fasting. So a lot of you ask about it. So I hope we answered some of your questions. And as always, you can jump over to one of our groups, our running groups over at Hub City Runners on our Facebook group page there, and then the Do Hard Things Today. If you search it up, we've got a Facebook page, but we've also got a group. I think it's Do Hard Things Today is fitness, nutrition, and performance. Jump over there, ask to join the group, let you in, no charge. We don't sell anything. Just a group of people trying to do hard things today. Hal, where all can they find us now?
Just about everywhere.
Yeah, just about everywhere.
Google Play, iTunes, Spotify. Did I say Google Play?
I think you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Find us there. Give us a review. As always, you can send us a message, shoot us an email, Kevin@dohardthingstoday.com. Our YouTube channel is up and coming, so you're going to be able to see us, and we're going to do some exercises and some videos, different things. Just want to help you, but we're going to see 21 days intermittent fasting, what happens with my story on that. So for Hal
Okay.
Morris, Kevin Harrison, reminding you, if you'll do the hard things today, tomorrow will take care of itself.